A rule of thumb in the filmmaking industry is to show, don't tell. I believe Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios have really perfected this in their animated films. Pixar's WALL-E is a great example of this, as Wally and Eve go virtually the entire film having only said their names and yet showed so much emotion and personality in their body language. Disney has also expertly shown anthropomorphism to really give you a sense of human-like personality in inanimate objects. Like in this clip from Big Hero 6, Baymax is quite visibly trying to figure out how he's going to get around the bed due to his large size. Even though he's technically a giant robotic inflated vinyl marshmallow who shows very little facial expressions, we still believe he has a gentle and caring personality who is learning and thinking just like you and I would. Realistically, robots are programmed to do specific actions and nothing more. Robots are not supposed to show emotions, but that is exactly why Pixar and Disney created these films, to show us how they so cleverly made us sympathize for inanimate objects and really tell a story in the process. So my question is, how is the sense of personality achieved in animation? If we look at John Lasseter's paper on the principles of traditional animation applied to 3D computer animation, he states, personality in character animation is not a principle unto itself, but the intelligent application of all the principles of animation. In this scene, Eve is given bubble wrap by Wally in an attempt to show her the joy and satisfaction of popping the bubbles. Straight away we are shown her satisfaction through those animation principles. Just to name a few, some key principles used are staging, how Eve is positioned in the shot, nothing important is hidden. We are made sure to not miss a thing. Anticipation, how Eve brings her hand up and above the wrap as to prepare herself before popping it. And timing, her delay as she thinks about what Wally is trying to get her to do. And most importantly, exaggeration, how she reacts to the satisfaction of popping this bubble wrap is what really expresses the emotion she is feeling. Her whole body lifts, her shoulders swing, and her digital eyes smile as she wiggles her head, similar to what a young happy child may do, except it is much more dramatic. I used this research as inspiration for my own project to help create a story that is driven by my character's personality. My animation is about a flour sack trying to get a lollipop high up on a pantry shelf, but its eagerness leads it to humorously slip and fall off the shelf. I showed this story firstly through staging. I kept the lollipop in the foreground with the flour sack in the background inspecting it. I made sure the sack's face was clearly in view while promoting a distinguishable silhouette. I added a noticeably long delay after it spots the lollipop to help convince us that it is in fact thinking about how to get it, just as we saw Baymax and Eve do to show their pull process. After it had made its decision, I showed a sense of anticipation by having the flour sack contract like a spring before it jumped. These are just some of the key principles I followed for a more visually appealing animation, which helped me create a solid foundation to then work on. From there, I wanted to add more unique characteristics to my flour sack, so what I did was really exaggerate the movement in the sack's hips by having it wiggle side to side. I didn't need to show this, but I believe this helped show the innocent ego essence in the flour sack, which we can relate to as happiness, just as Eve had shown when popping the bubble wrap. Before I reached this stage, I came back to my work with fresh eyes and found I could further exaggerate all these applied principles. This process is what Muratowski states as a type of research that enables practitioners to reflect on and evaluate their own work. I can back up this technical approach from the 1981 book The Illusion of Life, Disney Animation. They stated, Walt Disney believed in going to the heart of anything and developing the essence of what he found. If a character was sad, make him sadder. Bright, make him brighter. Worried, more worried. Wild, make him wilder. So to answer my question, how is a sense of personality achieved in animation? From applying the 12 principles of animation to create a solid foundation, and then going back and exaggerating each principle further and further until you are able to empathize with your own animated character.